It's been a while since I dropped this shit. Swole fam, y'all better run this up. KD, let's go. Yeah. Aye, East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, yeah. You know we don't play guys. I'm blessed, I never said I didn't struggle. I finesse, I never said I didn't hustle. These niggas talk so loud, the way I move is subtle. I'm the ocean, but these niggas just a puddle. Ay, oh, I swear I'm delusional. These niggas ain't using me. They want my energy, ain't nothing new, this is usual. These figures confusing me. What's gotten into me? They say I'm using their cubicles. Clipping KD like some cuticles. None of this shit is excusable. Don't need a muse when I'm musical. Ay, whoa, I'm tired of saying for truth when nobody's doing it. Yeah. They're controlling the youth, agenda of fusing them, nigga. We losing them. Matter of fact, we just abusing them. That's a fact. We try to roll with a ballad act. Fucking low key with a Tesseract. They throwing smoke when they got it. Get the fuck up out your little bubble. They wanna ask how much it costs, I said it double. Gorilla beer, these niggas only rockin' stubble. The realest nigga make these bitches start to stumble. Aye, East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play guys, yeah.
Swole North.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 3165 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleevescast, and Slaycast in that realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, bustas, hustlers, and yo-hos? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everest and K2, flexing on all you be.
Fucking Kelly
All right, fam, welcome to the show. We have a shorter show today. Going to do a little Q&A. We're live on Instagram, we're live on Rumble, we're live on YouTube. So you can start dropping your questions in the comments down below. We're just taking some questions today, and we'll probably be here for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that. So make sure you get your questions in right now. Happy Saturday. Just a little brief Q&A episode. If you are interested in joining the fam, make sure you check out swolenormousx.com, because we have specials going on right now, as well as ending those merch specials for papaswolio.com. So if you are interested in picking up some new merch, today I'm rocking the Jacked O-Lantern. Buy one, get one 50% off, ends on Sunday, which is tomorrow, if you did not know. So you could drop your questions in the comments down below. Welcome those of you that are watching on Instagram. Welcome on YouTube, Rumble. Make sure you click the link in my bio. If you are not yet subscribed to the Daily Swole podcast, we're live right now on Rumble and YouTube. How are we doing? So drop your questions, topics in the comments. We got a little tainty man that's live on the Mancast. Yep. So we are good to go. Drop your questions in the comments down below. We're good to go. Drop your questions in the comments down below. I got a couple, actually. I got a couple from Instagram. We'll get started. David Bone on Instagram Are deadlifts a leg or a pull exercise? It's a posterior chain exercise. Deadlifts are not a pull exercise per se, and they're not necessarily a leg exercise. I wouldn't even necessarily call them a total body. It's a posterior chain exercise. Posterior chain means back. It means spinal erectors, glutes, hamstrings. There's a lot of other components, calves, that are involved in a deadlift. All right, let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Madden324 on Instagram. My team cleared me to work out, just don't know where to start. Get on a solid program. You could check out swolenormousx.com. Check out the Swole fam. Download the app and start with the 90-day dash. Start with some yoga. If you're cleared to work out, then start properly, but make sure you're doing training with intent. Mag Kara, how many times a week should women do glutes? You're not going to really... Anyone that does 3 times a week is really just beating a dead horse. You don't need to train glutes 3 times a week. Twice. Any body part could be pretty much trained twice a week. Any more than that, it's going to be hard to program. It's possible, but the volume has to be... If you're doing 3 times a week, you're doing like 3 sets a week. Otherwise, you're not training hard enough. You're doing a lot of junk volume. So twice a week is more than enough for glutes, for any body part. X Sarah Lux, am I COVID vaccinated? I am a pureblood. I have not taken any mRNA experimental gene therapy in the last few years. So round of applause for freedom and America. I passed the IQ test. Sapphire Padilla on Instagram asks, what's your diet? My diet is mostly carnivore, meat, dairy, raw dairy, and eggs. Terry trains arms sometimes. I eat fruit too. And some carbohydrates, some sweet potatoes. Mama made a good stew from the Swolenormous archive, from the recipe archive on the app. We did, it was some sort of a roast in a crock pot. I forget what recipe it is, but I'll have to pull it up. Mama Swole made it from the website, from the app. It was great. Jesus MC90, where can I get that shirt? Oh, you love the shirt? Make sure you check it out. Link is in my bio, papaswolio.com. Buy one, get one, 50% off. Ends tomorrow. Today's Saturday, tomorrow. What am I hitting today? Well, today was going to be an upper body day. We do have some family coming over for a few, so either it's going to be later this afternoon, or I might pull an audible, swing some clubs, get an extra recovery day, and then do a back-to-back and do a Sunday, Monday. So it's going to be an upper body day. If I do train today, if I do heavy resistance, it's going to be an upper body day. But I'm not sure if I'm going to. I might just do it tomorrow. Aaron, what's your favorite recipe from the kitchen? Ooh. Well, mostly what we cook is steak, but Mama Solio is getting into trying some different things, and we're getting into doing some different cuts of meat. I just like ribeye. I like steak. Just give me some steak, man. I don't need anything fancy. Let's see. Rihanna Nicole, hello. What would be good, Papa Solio, for strengthening neck and shoulders? Working your traps, doing any kind of rowing movement. Any kind of rowing and pressing. Overhead pressing, upper back rows, lat rows, any kind of pressing movements. You're tensing your neck. Doing Kelso shrugs is great. Really, when you talk about certain body parts, like if someone has back problems, is it really their back that needs to be stronger? Yes and no. It's also the muscles and the joints around the back. It's the hips that are usually impaired. It might be the upper back. It could be the habits of sitting too long every day. So it's not necessarily the back that needs to be targeted. It might have to be the other areas around that are causing instability and poor posture that are causing chronic pain or discomfort. So Kelso shrugs are fantastic. Personally, I like to do Kelso shrugs. There's some really good strategies using a Smith machine and facing parallel to it. So you're using one hand on the barbell on the Smith machine, so you can lean and get a better angle for your upper traps. But Kelso shrugs prone on a high incline bench, and you can round and really get some retraction. You could also do Kelso shrugs on a T-bar row or any kind of machine chest supported row. Those are fantastic. M. Schroeder, Papa Solio, thoughts on rowing as a workout/regimen? Look, any kind of training, understand that when you are doing training, any training, what you are doing is preparing for that outcome. So understand what you want the outcome to be, and then the training should match that outcome. It's really that simple. What do you want the outcome to be? And then what do you need to do to reach that outcome? You want to build muscle? Don't get obsessed with rowing because that's not ideal. You want to make sure you're creating a proper growth stimulus with your training and then minimizing fatigue. So doing cardio isn't going to help you get less sore. It's not going to help you recover faster. All it does is kind of like distribute the fatigue, and it's going to negatively affect your progress for progressive overload. Now, this doesn't mean you can't do any cardio. It just means you have to manage that so you don't over fatigue yourself so you can recover for your next heavy, intense training session. So it depends on what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish. Lavash, Armo, Papaswolio, any advice? Oh, that's a good question. Any advice for those who regret getting vaccinated? Yeah, that's a tough one. So you can't go back in time. You can't undo those decisions or any decisions. If you come up with a time machine, let me know. I'd like to go back to 2010 and buy some more Bitcoin. But in terms of, I think what you're really asking is any kind of regret. What's hard is that you feel like you lied to yourself or you sacrificed your own integrity. So my advice is to face it head on, to acknowledge it, and to be open about it. Because if you're open about it and you have this conversation with other people and you're honest about it, you'll be good with yourself. The most important thing is you being good with yourself and not being in denial and promoting something that you regret, because then you're just kind of selling yourself down the river and you're compounding the problem. So with any kind of regret, especially something like that, be honest. You'll gain your integrity back. It's really humbling to admit when you were wrong or you wish you didn't make that decision, but you can use that as a lesson that you can pass on to friends, family. And usually if you speak in that kind of way and you're open about it, more people will probably come out and have that conversation and agree with you. And you can actually bring people out of their shell so they're not keep on closed off and in denial and perpetuating nonsense. That's a tough one. It's a tough one. Look, everyone had a choice, but some people's choices weren't as easy as others. You know, it is a choice, but if you have 3 kids and you have a mortgage payment and you had all this stuff and your job was like, you are fired if you don't, that's sick. It's sick. It's twisted, but that would not have been an easy choice. It's still the same choice, but it's a much different. You have people that are dependent on you. It's a whole different thing. Can't wait for this episode to get kicked off YouTube. So make sure you're following on Rumble, because last time I mentioned experimental gene therapy, the episode got pulled. Remember, I was just voicing logical opinions. This was like a week ago. Michelle says, I got vaxxed. Stupid job forcing it upon me, not realizing I didn't have to make that choice and could have stood up for myself. Yeah, I'd be pissed off too, but the most important thing is you don't hate yourself for it, and you step up, you admit when you were wrong to yourself, and you'll make better decisions. Like, use that as a lesson to share with other people. That's the way you get your integrity back. That's the way you get your integrity back. Because people feel violated. Now when they realize and they come out of it, they realize they were violated. Their personal property and their personal sovereignty was violated. That's what the government does, is violate your sovereignty by definition. So it's really hard to live with yourself. So people have to compartmentalize and pretend like they needed to do it. They did it for the greater good and X, Y, and Z. And then they perpetuate this leftist, woke, cultist narrative. So it's just really important to address, I shouldn't have done that. I'm aware now. I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm going to use that as a lesson to help with other people and be transparent about it. And the most important thing is, like, you're the one that needs to live with yourself and your decisions and your choices and understand why you did it. Because life is a learning experience. I haven't done perfect shit my entire life. So I'm not sitting here telling you guys I'm a saint. But I would not be putting any of that shit in my body, that's for damn sure. Dr. Delta. We had folks from my job also not get vaxxed, but I was also blinded by the media. I'm just glad I'm out of the matrix now. But that's what's important. It's important to admit that. And it's really hard for people to admit that. So Aaron, you're goated for for even bringing that up. It's, most people were at some point. I wasn't really plugged in and paying attention until, several years ago, started doing podcasting, and you start seeing more stuff online and news and fat acceptance and anti-diet dietitian. You start seeing this Marxism come out in fitness and body positivity and fat acceptance and fat liberation and all this absolute nonsense that we talk about on the podcast all the time. So social media really brought everything to everyone's face. And fortunately, it looks like, at least currently, we have turned the ship around. I'm actually very, very proud of the country, very proud of humanity and society for, for this past election, really coming out of it fairly quickly, considering really getting their shit together. Elon Musk, absolutely goated move, purchasing Twitter, that cesspool, and turning into X, which is a great platform now. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. I know a lot of you are probably burnt out right now because of the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah, the holidays. Now we're kind of like in January. Everyone's like, oh my God, it hasn't even started yet. I think this like interim of 2.5 and whatever months between an election and someone getting inaugurated is ridiculous. It should be right away. You get elected, you're fucking out. Let's go. Why are we waiting 2 months so Biden can burn the rest of the country to the ground in the meantime? All these garbage pardons and selling off the border wall, and it's just disgusting. Let's go. We're ready to move on. So hopefully people's fire hasn't burnt out, but 16 days until we can get yoked. The whole world is ready to turn this dog shit around. All right, more questions. Rumble, YouTube. I'm going to scroll down. If I missed your questions, you could ask again. Yeah, listen to any podcast with Brett Weinstein is great. And was that the most recent one? I was listening to Brett Weinstein back in like early 2020 when he was first having these. He was first breaking down the splits in the genetic code with the COVID virus and how it looks spliced. And he was hardcore censor, but that's what really opened my eyes up right away. That was the Dark Horse podcast, like early 2020, was fantastic. Gert Vanderbosch on that podcast was amazing episode. Lavash, Papa Soy, do you think Trump got the actual vax? Oof, good question. Maybe. This dude eats fast food. I don't know how he's alive, to be honest. Do I think he got the actual vax? It's a good question. I don't actually have an opinion on that. I don't know. Does anyone know? Has he ever mentioned that? Anyway, any other questions? We don't have to talk about whatever you guys want. We got about 10, 15 minutes maybe. Rihanna Nicole on YouTube, Papa Solio, following up. It's more for working on stiffness on the right side of my neck. I work on a computer, causing a lot of it. Was looking to expand stuff to make my head not so lopsided in it. Well, so one thing that I do, I have my monitor right here. I have, like, for those that don't know, the reason why I'm looking around, I have 4 monitors. I have 4 stream decks. I got like 5 cameras and all that stuff. So what I do is I have the monitor, but I also have a riser. So this desk goes up and down, so I can adjust the desk, but I'm also looking straight at my monitor. So it's really important that you level out your monitor if you're not doing that. Yoga's great. Yoga's fantastic. Also, Rihanna, have you checked out the shoulder awareness series? Shoulder awareness program. If you guys or anyone watching, first off, download the Swolenormous app. Start your free trial. If you want to check out some special offers, go to swolenormousx.com. Check out the shoulder awareness program. It's fantastic for balancing out elevation, protraction. A lot of times that's what causes cervical extension, poor posture. Taco Schnoodles. What's your best advice for those who are obese in regards to exercising safely? Get on a quality program, start proper nutrition. You could do our chair yoga classes in Swolenormous X. You got to lift weights, but it's going to be nutrition, just moving in general. You could do chair yoga. You can hold on to things. You can do machines. You could use Smith machines. You could use weight machines. You could use bands. You don't have to be doing free weights. But in terms of exercising safely, you got to guard around your limitations, but you got to push yourself. Start walking, start moving, walk up and down stairs, do the elimination diet, start with your nutrition. Got to get that weight off. But doing the elimination diet and really focusing on isolating and eliminating foods that are commonly inflammatory is going to be huge. Yeah, I forget the details with the IgG4 with the vax, but I guess like it inflames, it causes autoimmune responses, right? If you get was it one booster or two boosters? I forget. But yeah, like the stuff that's going to come out in RFK's book, The Real Anthony Fauci, will blow your mind and make you throw up at the same time. This guy's an evil piece of shit. He belongs in prison. But hopefully we just get, look, people always ask me about Make America Healthy. We've been talking about making America swole. It doesn't have to start with RFK. You don't have to wait for the government, whether Kamala Harris, if she won. You can get healthy today. It'd be much harder, of course, but you can get healthy now. You can cut out seed oils. You can cut out processed sugars. You can cut out all these garbage foods. You can cut out more blue light. You can get blue blocking glasses. You can get red light bulbs. You can get to sleep earlier. You can do these things on your own. You don't need to wait for some authority figure to tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you to go to the fucking gym. I'll tell you to stop eating cake. I'll tell you to do the elimination diet. I'll create the Swolenormous app and give you everything at your disposal that you need, all the tools, but you still have to do it. You don't need anyone's permission, is my point. You don't need any permissions. Yeah, I thought it was a second shot, Aaron. I thought it was a second shot. Taco Noodle says experimental gene therapy is a very, very real thing. This video is getting taken down so quick. Shame on YouTuber. Who? At least she croaked, I think, or her son croaked. And husband. Oh, you mean the CEO of YouTube, right? Yeah, she was awful, but didn't she pass? I'm not wishing any ill on anyone, but yeah, her son, like, yeah, there was some tragic karma or something. No way. Loretta on Rumble says, I know people that have had 7 shots. Loretta, you got to call those people 50 Cent. 50 Cent. Call him 50 Cent. Jesus Christ. 7 shots? I can't imagine. I can't even imagine eating a Snickers bar, let alone getting 7 injections. Miguel Choa, 1111, Papa Swolio. What do you think about workout places like Base Camp? I've never even heard of that, to be honest. Burn Boot Camp or Orange Fitness Theory? I don't really have much of an opinion. Do people get in better shape? I suppose. A lot of people go to these places or CrossFit. They go for the community. They go to feel like they got a great workout. It doesn't mean that they actually got a great workout. It doesn't mean that it's not programming, it's exercise. And they're trying to sell you on the music, the way you feel immediately after, the short-term gratification of like, being out of breath and feeling like you're wiped out. If you want to build muscle, it's not about being wiped out. It's not about dripping in your own sweat. It's not about bleeding from your hands. It's not about any of those things. So it really depends. A lot of people do things that are kind of adjacent to what they want, but they pick the entertaining route or what they think it is, so they can go in and just mindlessly do something and have certain energy. Most people just exhaust themselves with training. They don't actually have a program with intent. So I'm not really talking negatively about them, because some people are going to love them. Some people are like them. But more people are not going to get results doing those things, and they're not going to be consistent, and they're not going to get results versus people that do. They might be successful because a lot of people pay and never go, but just in general, that's what happens. Lavash, Papa Solia, what do you think about the similarities between the attackers in Vegas and New Orleans? That shit's crazy. I tweeted about this. Check out Sean Ryan's latest episode. I tweeted about it yesterday. I don't think YouTube has taken it down yet. It's on Spotify too, but I posted on my X account, Lavash. So go check that out. If you haven't watched that, you want to really get your nips blown off, check out that episode. Bro, like that episode was insane. You guys check that out? Sean Ryan, the ex-military guy, is one of the largest podcasts in the world. Great podcast. I posted on my X account at Swolenormous if you want to check it out. Wild shit. Lavash, did you check that out? If not, you got to go like right after we're done. We got like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. I got to go. go check out that podcast. It's like 45 minutes, not really. Rihanna. Oh, wait. Maybe a more clear question for my neck, maybe mobility on it. Are there anyone's an X you'd recommend for shoulders and neck? Do the shoulder awareness program. Go check out the shoulder awareness program. And Rihanna, if you go in the app, you can filter for yoga and type in neck and shoulders. And you could do, maybe try a yin shoulders and neck class and see if something opens up. All you got to do is find something that starts seeing improvement. But if you want the strengthening for it, check out the shoulder awareness program. Yeah, I think I could bring that up quick. Let me bring that up quick. Yeah, here it is. I said catch it before YouTube yanks it. Sam Shoemate, Cybertruck Bomber. Yeah. Lavash says, I saw that he released that email and went into hiding for safety. I'll check it out. Check out the podcast. Check out the episode. That email is nuts. So what I think you're going to find is that this guy probably emailed a bunch. He probably emailed Rogan, and that's what Sean Ryan was saying. He was saying that Rogan and anyone that has big podcasts should scrub their emails and do a search and see. This guy probably contacted them too. Yeah, wild stuff. Fam, I agree with Sean Ryan. I was saying this to Mama Soy the other day. I think 2025, unfortunately, is going to be bloody. I think there's going to be a lot of like little skirmishes and bombs and terrorist attacks and people driving trucks through crowds and sports games or concerts. I feel like there's just going to be, that's what terrorism is. It's creating terror. It's creating fear. It's creating like a rift. It's creating this like constant high anxiety. You never know what's going to happen. Just be very mindful. Be very mindful. Because of all the people, the hundreds of thousands, millions of people that have been let in through the border, a lot of them are terrorists. A lot of them are evil, and they're organized in our country. So we're going to have to try to get rid of everyone, like as much as possible. But it's going to be next to impossible to get rid of everyone. So the damage, unfortunately, might already be done. Just be vigilant, carry, train, be mindful, avoid unnecessary large crowds when possible. In my opinion, I'm not a fan of large crowds anyway. Just good advice, I think. Just be mindful, be safe out there. Wish everyone the best. Including Cerny. We wish the best for Cerny too. Jeremy says 7 shots is how we got The Walking Dead. Jesus Christ. Accurate. I mean, look, the tragedy in New Orleans was awful. Like, that's terrible. But I'm also questioning, okay, who the fuck is going to New Orleans and going on the main street on New Year's Eve? Obviously, all those people. But I look at that, it's like, the last place that I can imagine going is New York City, Times Square on New Year's Eve. That's probably number 1 on my list, and I would never go there. New Orleans is going to be after any major city center area, any major city event for New Year's. Those are all top 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. And then you have New Orleans. That'll be on the list, I guess. Not a fan of just being smashed around tons of people. It's just an awful experience. What about the casino? Going to a casino? Yeah, I mean. Cerny says, I remember feeling like this when 9/11 happened. Yeah? Well, what happened? What do you mean? What just happened? This is nothing like 9/11, you know that. Or you mean the kind of like vulnerability and just like the feeling in the air, you mean? Not like the truck bombing. You mean just the overall vibe? Because the problem is we don't want, the Trump got elected based on we don't want wars. The people that elected Trump, the reason why he got the popular is people don't want wars. Get the fuck out of these areas. But the problem is because the Biden administration pulled out and now Al-Qaeda and ISIS and everything, all our arms and all these resources, just fell into enemy hands, and these areas are now extremely unstable. It's almost like that was, I know that was done on purpose. The terrible withdrawal was done on purpose. Obviously, it was the worst embarrassment one of the worst embarrassments of our country's history. The way Biden pulled out the troops, it was disgusting and despicable, and people died as a result of it. But it's almost like that was done on purpose, so it could be a hot mess, and then we almost have to go back in. Like if something happens, you think if these are actual ISIS, and it's actually specifically these terrorist groups that did this, people are going to want to go and get blood, but we don't want to get back involved with another 20-year forever war. All countries profit in war and destabilization, not just the United States. I don't want war. Military-industrial complex wants war. Communists want war. This is why countries that are on the brink of disaster and depression and stuff, that's why they usually go to war, so they can print money and refocus, like the Eye of Sauron, refocus the angst and the anxiety and the desperation of their people on an external enemy. Yeah, false flags. Oh, I'm not giving an answer, but I'm just saying, look at what's happening. You can easily have an FBI. Well, look what they just came out. Remember the FBI bombing, or the FBI bomb that was planted? I say the FBI bomb because it was like very plainly like an FBI. Dan Bongino was covering this endlessly. The bomb that was outside like the DNC or something on January 6th back in 2021. And now it's like starting to make the headlines again. Like, oh, new information on that. What are you talking about? These were all like inside jobs. This was all planned. These were all like backup events. Like if that doesn't go right, then we'll do this. And it's so easy for the CIA or FBI or some sort of intelligence agency to have a false flag, set off a bomb somewhere. Oh my God, something got happened. It's them. It's the Russians. It's Putin. He's an evil, bad person, or it's Xi Jinping or someone like that. If it hits in the right way and this, that, and the other happens, and then look at what happened with the weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist. We went in, the military industrial complex wanted to go into Iraq and take out Saddam for years and years. And now they want to go to war with Iran. So it's probably going to be Iran's funding X, Y, and Z. Look at this bombing. Iran's behind it. And they're going to want to clamor to go to war with Iran or something. Or finish up in Syria and Libya and whatnot. I'm no expert. This stuff is complicated, but we all know that when things like this happen, you have to look at what the distraction is, what they're trying to point your attention towards, what's being set up, and try not to be duped, but it's hard. It's hard. At least, really, honestly, at least we have X. At least we have the ability for millions and millions of people to come together and cross-check. We have community notes, and people on X can be like, this is bullshit, this is fake, this is not real, and people can communicate. And I will say, at least we have all these massive independent media platforms like Rogan and Sean Ryan and this, that, and the other that are at least pretty ruthlessly neutral in the sense that they have people on that are going to say controversial stuff or say things that they won't be hosted anywhere else. So at least we can get information or at least insights, and then we can determine things for ourselves. The most important thing is we use common sense, use logic, and just prepare for yourself. The thing is, you can't be constantly stressed out. Like for me, what can I personally do? We can talk about this on social media as long as we don't get banned. Cool. But what can I actually do? I'm not going to grab like my AR and go out in the streets and be like, all right, nothing's going on. Okay, where do I go? I'm not just going to like hop in a plane and go to Afghanistan or, there's nothing like I can do. So I just got to prepare for myself. You got to meditate, train, take care of your 7 pillars, focus on your fitness, focus on your health, focus on, doing the right thing by you and your family, and just be prepared for these things. Don't be surprised, like anticipate these things. Don't make stupid decisions. Be aware of the possibilities of the things that can go wrong. Have contingency plans, have, food and water and batteries and all that kind of stuff. And then live your life, man. Just be aware. You just can't be obsessed with every last thing because you have to come back to, just like with the 7 pillars, you got to come back to what you can control and what can you control. Community, nutrition, training, recovery, mobility, mindfulness, and consistency. You can control those things. You can't control what Al-Qaeda does. You can't control what ISIS does. You can't control what Trump does. You can't control what Xi Jinping does. Like you can't do these things. So you just got to make sure you don't internalize it. And like, it's like you can only do so much. Yeah, it's not going to be a smooth ride. I think 2025 is going to be a lot of these skirmishes. Unfortunately, that's my I don't want to say prediction. That's not a good prediction. I don't want that to happen. That's my assumption, is that obviously it started on January 1st. This is going to be something I feel like it's going to be random, and it's going to be, unfortunately, it probably gets bigger and bigger, but it seems like it's going to be something that's a theme where you have a stadium gets bombed or a bridge, or I don't know. I hope not, but stuff like that. All right, fam. Cerny says we made it through the last 4 years. We could do anything. Yeah. Fuck yeah! Shout out to Pam Stein. Just finished week 1 of the elimination diet. Loving it. Day 3 of 90-day dash. Very nice. Good for you. Good for you. Fam, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining in on Instagram. Appreciate the questions. We went more into like, politics and social stuff than I expected to, but I like the free-flowing topic. So we'll do the same thing tomorrow. We'll do a Sunday Fun Day Q&A. I just wanted to pop in for a little bit. We got guests over here. I think they just arrived, so I'm going to wrap up. No Swole card today. We'll do those during the week, but let's see. Tomorrow, Papa Swole. So if you're on Instagram, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Leave a 5-star review. Spotify, Apple Podcast, The Daily Swole. We're live every day. Link is in my bio. So if you're on Instagram, click the swolenormousx.com/links in my bio, and you'll see the merch specials, this shirt, and all the other shirts we have. Buy one, get one 50% off, ends tomorrow. You could check out memberships, download the app. All that stuff is in the links. So we got a lot of cool stuff. Membership specials, swolenormousx.com. Merch specials ends tomorrow, papaswolio.com, and everything else. But we'll be back here tomorrow for 3166. You can watch live on Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, The Daily Swole Podcast. And thank you so much for being here. Beaches, Jeremy, Loretta, PK, Cerny, Lori, Pam, Annie, Rihanna, Taco Noodles, everyone that joined in today. Thanks for being here. Really good. We could do more conspiracy theories tomorrow. I mean, the thing is, the difference between a conspiracy theory and a fact is about 3 to 6 months these days. 3 to 6 months, as the crow flies. It's just a little bit of time until those conspiracy theories are actually proven to be 100% true these days. All right, thanks for being here. We will see you mañana. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose, your boy Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now the king left and they so mad, it's like...
Yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, chill. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa. My shit is relevant. Our topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking